Good morning, everyone. This is In Your Defense with instructor Daniel Cothran. And today I want to talk about operational security, and a little bit of how the process can be added to your way of life. All right, so let's jump right into it. First and foremost, with all self-defense, or combat or anything in general, the moment you open your eyes at night to the moment you go back to bed and close them, we need to be practicing our situational awareness. That is the first and foremost line of defense. That's the way that we are able to establish a decision base and move on from there. With increasing your situational awareness, you need to also increase your knowledge base of what to look for. What types of what types of information do you need to know about the criminal element in order to say, okay, this may be a threat and I may want to avoid, or this may be a potential threat and I may want to help someone else, or whatever your decisions are that you pre-set in your mind. Increasing your situational awareness is what's going to give you that that baseline, right? So let's just jump right into the situational awareness topic. When we talk about situational awareness, we're also talking about building a baseline. So for every new environment you walk into, whether it be on the street and you're driving in your car, or you're walking in through a parking lot, or you're in a grocery store, no matter what scenario you're in, no matter what building you're in, no matter what environment you're in, you want to establish what is considered normal. You're going to first and foremost look at the attitude. That a lot of people use the phrase, you can sense the tension in the air. That's essentially what we're doing. However, you can't see tension in the air. So give me 1 second. I do apologize. I have to take a look at this. We can't see tension in the air, but we can sense it. We can feel the tension. And one way that you increase your ability to do that is to put yourself in situations where there may be a little bit of an argument going on in the background or something like that. Those are risky ways of training it. But another way is to always put yourself in a position where everyone's happy. Because once your body becomes accustomed to where everything is okay, then it's possible that your subconscious can pick up when there's just the slightest tension in the room, right? However, training it can be basically just a simple YouTube search or get with a self-defense instructor. There's a lot of knowledgeable people with the self-defense company, myself being one of them. You can study micro expressions. You can study body language and stuff like that. But, without even studying that, after you establish your baseline, or while you're establishing a baseline, you're going to look for that tension in the air, that anomaly. You're establishing what is normal, and then you're going to look for things that are not matching up with the normal baseline. And then you can further investigate after you figure out what that anomaly is. So, for example, I'm going to walk into a grocery store, and the first thing I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for the expressions on everybody's face. While I'm doing that, I'm doing a it's not a game, but we call it a drill kind of game. If you're talking with your kids, we call it a game. It's called counting hats. While I'm studying everybody's baseline, seeing who's not happy, essentially, I'm looking and seeing, you know, everybody around me. If everyone is focused in one area, I might question, what are they looking at? If we're in a grocery store, most people are looking at items on shelves. But if everyone, or the majority of everyone, starts looking down one specific aisle, well, that tells me that there's something of interest there. Okay. Now, before I approach that scene, I might say, well, what kind of facial expressions are those people expressing? Do they have concern on their face? Do they have anger on their face? Do they have shock on their face? Whatever it is, it might indicate if I'm walking up on Santa Claus in the aisle, or it might indicate that there is a health concern for an individual in that aisle, and someone needs to render aid. So establishing a baseline and looking for anomalies is basically what will increase your situational awareness. Okay, now you can't just stay tunnel focused on or focus locked on what's in front of you, and you can't just base it on your sight. We can also look for danger or potential threats with our ears, with our nose. Sometimes you can taste things in the air. It's a crazy what it's so amazing what the human body can do once you slow down your thinking and just examine everything. You can never go too crazy with it. You really can't. And the next thing we want to talk about is becoming the gray man. The gray man is simply just blending in with your surroundings. Once you're able to blend in with your surroundings, that takes the attention off of you. Because, like I said, everyone else is establishing a baseline, whether they like it or not. If you come in wearing a costume that looks like a clown while everyone else is wearing pajamas, there's two extremes. It's not unlikely in a Walmart. People are going to look at you more, right? So if you go into a store or a place and everyone looks like regular casual wear and you're wearing tactical gear, people are going to look at you. I mean, you are the anomaly. What you want to do is become part of the normal baseline to where people are not noticing you as much and you blend in. That's what the gray man theory basically is. It's a whole video to itself. And then, once you're able to blend in with your surroundings and look for anomalies and stuff like that, the next thing to do is train yourself to win. You do not want to be in a situation to where your odds are against you. You're going to want to win at every survival situation, whether it's you tripped and fell and broke your leg and medical care is a long way. So you want to train yourself to take care of your broken leg so you can get to better at medical. Or it could be that someone shoved an elderly woman and you want to intervene and protect this woman. You want to be able to train in de-escalation. You want to be able to train with soft skills, hard skills. You want to be able to handle your situation. And knowing all of this, we have to all accept that self-protection or self-defense is our responsibility as individuals. No one is here to protect us all the time. So no matter how good the police force is or the military is, we need to be able to handle stuff until those guys get there, right? At least at a bare minimum, until those guys get there. We're our own first line of defense. So I am going to add on to the video that I was talking about previously that none of you got to see because I had it on private. And we'll go from there. Let's see here. Left of bang is essentially, when we're talking about self-defense, we are definitely talking about left of bang. Let's see. Everything that we talk about here, regardless if I mention left of bang, is staying away from this exclamation point right here. You tracking me? All right. So this exclamation point, if you don't remember, the exclamation point is an event on this timeline that was either it was a threat of whatever kind. It could be that somebody got hostile towards you, or it could be that like if you were in the military, a car bomb went off. We want to be able to be proactive enough to analyze our baseline, our situation, to see a potential threat, which is this, and then avoid it. If we can't avoid it, we're going to try to escape it. And if we can't escape or avoid it, our last chance of survival is to fight our way through it. And you know, there's different things that you can do. You got to be the person. You are the operator. You are the boots on the ground. You are the person who's got to come up with the decisions and the actions that you're going to take. And you have to be okay with those decisions that you make. Because whatever decisions you make, you're going to have to be the one stuck with it. So let's see. If you do not be proactive and you're forced to be reactive, you're on the right side of that situation, which could mean that you're in the hospital or worse, or other people are in the hospital or worse. So staying on the left of bang is being proactive. All right, we're good there. What are we going to talk about that will help us be proactive? That would be operational security. So operational security would look, I've got to get better at moving this camera around. All right, so operational security, if we study it, we can imply it or implement it. And I took this image off of the internet. Yeah, but operational security was basically a military program designed to protect the information from the opposing force or OP4. And there's 5 steps here. 5 steps. You can imply it. You can implement it in all aspects of your self-defense training, regardless of what it might be. Let's talk about something else real quick. But if it'll come up, I might not even be able to pull it up. Let's take that. Yep. Let's talk about the different types of security, if I even have it on here. I just have to be verbal on it. Yeah, it's looking like I don't have it, guys. And if I don't, that's okay. I have all the knowledge about it right here in my head, and we can go from there. I know you guys like imagery, though. That's what I'm trying to get y'all, some imagery. Not looking good on the imagery. All right, sorry about that. But basically, we'll just go back to what I was saying. I'll just verbal it. So when we're talking about operational security, you've got operational security or OPSEC. You also have, second one could be your COMSEC, which is your communication security. Operational security is, every process that you have to do to protect the mission, the operation. That, let's relate that to your life as a civilian. Any time that you are doing anything, consider it an operation. Not everything's going to have high security clearance, okay? But there's things that you can do to protect your family as you're driving down the road to go to that grocery store. There's things that you can do to drive down the road to take your kids to school. That process of you coming up with those things to do to protect during that action would be operational security or OPSEC. The other thing is COMSEC. Basically, what COMSEC is, if you don't want anyone else to know about it, don't talk about it. Okay, so you got operational security and you got com security, communication security, or COMSEC. In a nutshell, don't speak about it if you don't want anyone else to know about it. And if you need to relay the information on security, have keywords and stuff like that. There's a whole process you can come up with. The next one is InfoSec or InSec. Basically, the same as ComSec. And the other one would be PERSEC. Basically, PERSEC is what we as civilians or anybody would do to protect our personal security, our personal thing. But all of those versions of security can be developed using the same process from the OPSEC program. I'm going to show you the steps right here. I'm going to share it on the screen. Well, this is a lot longer video than I thought it was going to be. Sorry, guys. I wasn't meaning for this to be a 20-minute video. All right. So right here on the screen, we are looking at operational security, the process. The first bubble up here. Now, this imagery, I just got it off the internet, but it's based off the program the military came up with. The first one is to identify critical information. Basically, if you are doing any of those security analysis things that I was telling you about, whether it be InfoSec, ComSec, PERSEC, or OPSEC, you're going to look for your critical information. I'm going to speed this up so we can get this video done in hopefully under 20 minutes. We're going to look for those things. Once we discover what those are, we're going to write them down. If you don't write it down, you will forget it because this is a process. Next step, right over here, we're going in this direction from the top over. We're going to analyze the threats. Once you analyze the threats, what are you doing while you're analyzing threats? You're deciding what is a threat. You're deciding who is a threat. You're deciding anything that is related to a threat. You're analyzing it. And what are we doing? We're writing it down. Moving forward to the next step is to analyze your vulnerabilities. We're not just going to analyze our vulnerabilities. We're going to analyze the enemy or the threat's vulnerabilities. Why? Because we could use them to defend ourselves if need be. We're also going to analyze our vulnerabilities because if we have any vulnerabilities or weaknesses, then we can strengthen them and make it harder for the enemy or the threat to attack. The next step is to assess the risk. What are we doing here? Is we're going, let's go back. Analyze vulnerabilities. What do? Write it down. Assess risk. That's the next bubble in this process. And it's the second to the last. Assess risk. What are we doing with that? Okay, so what we're going to do now is going to get a pencil and paper. We're going to write down what are the possibilities and the likelihood of a potential attack or threat. If those are low likelihoods and low possibilities, then we are not even going to concern ourselves that much with it. If they are high possibilities and high likelihood, then we're going to focus more attention on those weaknesses, more attention on those threats, and we are going to come up with countermeasures. The next bubble is apply countermeasures. We don't necessarily have to write these on a piece of paper, because if you write those on piece of paper and the enemy gets it, then your violation of ComSec would be there, right? Don't worry too much about it. You're not in the military, but you probably do need to keep things secure. Applying those countermeasures are simply just that. If you think that your likelihood and possibility of your house getting broken into, your countermeasure would to buy a lock for the doors and for the windows and alarms and stuff like that, right? So to apply those would just be to set it up. And this is a cycle, so it goes back again to identify critical information. You don't have to spend all day long doing this. This is something simple. But at any point in time that you feel like you need to, or at any point in time you feel like you came up with another potential vulnerability or another potential threat or anything like that, or you thought randomly throughout the day, oh, this is a critical information, then you can come back with pencil and paper. It's simple as that, guys. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. If you get to see this video, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, please subscribe, and let me know what you would like to know, because I'd love to teach it. Anyways, this is In Your Defense with Daniel Cothran. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.